Whatever the purpose is for you, that's all that matter. All right. I see the live button, kind of like the hot button at Krispy Kreme, which means we are live. It is Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. ish. Means it's time for another edition live in the Man Cave. I am Coach Corey J. We got the All-State coach with us. What's going on with you, sir?
Coach, happy Sunday, Coach. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Happy first Sunday of November. October is a thing of the past. And it'll be us tonight, be the dynamic duo. We are short from the trio. All-State PG got a business engagement, a conflict. So the show must go on. So we will hold it in the road, like the old folks say. We will hold it in the road, Coach and I, and keep it going. So, Coach, I know we're officially in season. So if you got, I'm sure you got plenty, but I don't want to assume anything in your coach's corner. You got it if so.
Coach, I got a couple questions for you. All right. Yeah, we in season, and it seems like now we don't have enough time to get everything in that we want to, but it's all good. We're gonna figure it out. But got two questions for you. First question: full court pressing, is it overrated or underused?
Definitely underused. It's overrated by those who either can't teach it or don't have the people to do it. Why wouldn't you not, especially in Florida, especially in Polk County, where we're so athletic? I don't understand why. Now, how much you do it could be debatable, but I would imagine, and I haven't seen all of them. I mean, in person, I've seen them, based off of, what we put in the magazine. But I would imagine that every team has athletes in the county,
Mm-hmm.
and every team has a generous amount of kids that play football or baseball or soccer, just multi-sport kids. So I don't know why you would not take advantage of. Good evening, Mr. Alexander. I don't know why you would not take advantage of that advantage. So I definitely think it's underused. I know, Coach, it's been a while, but back when I coached, we prepared for some type of pressure anytime we played the Polk County team. Whether it's full court, whether it's man, whether it's zone, whether it's three quarters, run and jump, something was coming at some point. So I definitely think it's underused. And it's not because of personnel. I just think it's people you got to be able to teach it, right? So you got to be able to coach it. And what do a lot of people do? What do a lot of people do when they can't teach or coach something in basketball? They sit in the zone, right?
Sit in the
Because
zone.
you don't realize the coach is zone, right? You just sitting there, hope people miss shots. So I would say it is definitely underused, and I don't understand why in Polk County with the amount of athletes that each team has.
Okay.
So underused severely.
All right. That was something I came across today. I was like, well, let me ask this.
So folks are asking the question, or folks not doing it,
No, it
or
was just a discussion topic, and people have their opinions about it. And you know, I'm a firm believer of it because those are the type of personnel and teams that I've had. And
what is
everybody
that?
think, huh?
Because that's like the post you made in this football, but it's kind of relevant. Everybody, just because everybody in the shotgun now, don't mean that everybody can do it, right? Like,
Hmm.
so do you jump in the shotgun now because getting on the center and teaching how to come off a block is we don't that's forgotten, So people that's not pressuring the ball or not playing full court type, some type of full court defense, I would wonder. I would love to hear why. Now, if you just ain't got the horses to do it, if you ain't got people, the personnel, you ain't got athletes, okay. But all things being equal, who said it, Coach, on here? Somebody, either UPG, one of the guests. Coach, Nova Southeastern won 2 national championships. And if you look at them, they don't look to have the personnel to be able to, but they pressure pretty much the whole game, right? And they win a national championship. So I even think the personnel thing is subjective because there's different ways that you can apply full court pressure. It ain't just got to be run and jump. How you run it, how y'all run it Winter Haven ain't got to be how I run it. If I ain't got what you got at Winter Haven, but it can still be effective. So I would be interested to see why folks would not want to steal a couple of possessions, 2, 6, 8 points here and there throughout the game. Even if you get if you go full court and you get a turnover and get a layup once a quarter, that's 8 points.
It's 8 points.
That's 8 points, Coach. That 8 points win you a lot of games. So,
and Coach, you can it can be strategic. Maybe it's off a free throw. You know what I'm saying? Something like that where you're not overextending yourself, but at the same time, like I said, it's strategic. You know what I'm saying?
Strategic. But that go to strategy too, right, Coach? That go to
me and McGriff had a long conversation Friday night when I was at the Barstow Lake Wells game about that. But like I said, I think it can be a useful tool. It can be overused and it can be underused also. And like I tell people all the time, it's really not for us about causing turnovers and trying to get easy baskets. Sometimes it's just about wearing legs down. So in the fourth quarter, they can't hit the shots that they was hitting when they had fresh legs. And also, when you get fatigued, you start making bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? So, we use, different types of forms of pressure. And not only in the full court, we do it in the half court too, just to make people uncomfortable. And we want to make sure that the way you practice running your offense is not going to be as easy or the way that you're going to execute your offense against us. So like I said, it can be useful if you have the personnel to do it. If you don't, like you just said, it could be useful in different points of the game.
Coach, we used to have a rule at Lakeland, me and when I was with Coach Collins. If we jump in pressure, and as long as you make you can't break it, we stay in it. You break it twice, we come out of it. Now that don't mean we won't go back to it or we won't vary it, but we're not just gonna sit in it and we're gonna kind of come at it. Maybe we might send the trap a different way. Maybe we may rotate out of it. Maybe we might come and do some type of zone pressure to a zone, something different, but not just keep sitting in it. If you've gotten too quick or too easy baskets out of it, all right, we got to go back and something, either y'all on the game plan for it, we rotating around something, but we're not just going to sit in it. But that don't mean you're going to go back to it. I think sometimes people get out of it and they don't go back to it. They don't try it again. I'm not, what I'm saying? It's like, because maybe it's the personnel you had in, maybe your point guard got to go out because he a little tired. You trying to steal a break with him. I used to know when I used to always look for when the team sent their point guard to the bench or the primary ball handler.
Right.
Anytime primary ball handler go to the bench, you get some type of pressure. We changing up whatever we're doing. Now, if you break it, okay. So, coach used to be coaching, so I'm always look coach. They just took such a game. And immediately we go into some type of pressure, some type of different look, because we just trying to steal points, Coach. We ain't trying to go on no 10-0 run. We just 2 here, 4 there. Like you say, you just keep hitting singles, and you look up and how we lost that game. How we, it's like we don't how. Sometimes we like how we want it. That's how we be in the locker room, Coach. Like how we want, how we pull that out.
That's so funny because we had that same strategy when Jay Fraud went out the game. Because we knew
nobody can handle the ball, Coach.
You know what I'm saying? We just knew we couldn't turn him over like that. So when he went out the game, we try to kick it up another notch and try to
Hey,
steal some
now, if
possessions.
you can get him back to that scores tables by that time the horn sound, then okay, we wave the white flag. But what we gonna do all we can while he out of there, because he made that much of a difference, coach. So I just think sometimes people and Coach Antbo, and that's what Coach kind of saying, Coach. You don't want people to get a no rhythm on you, and they run the offense, and the kids feeling good. They get into their spots. I remember watching Bartow and Lakeland play district championship, and Lakeland had beat Bartow in the regular season. This when KJ was over there, and I think it was after Walk left, whatever. But maybe it was Winter Haven. I don't know. I just know KJ was the player. I think it was Bartow though. I remember watching that game, and KJ got to the spot he wanted that McGriff was calling the set for to get the shot off 85% of that game. And they beat Lakeland. They probably had no business beating Lakeland, which they did on paper. But it's like, I was like, how he never ran him off his spot. Like, he got to his sweet spot. You could tell they had been running that set for him to get that shot, like a baseline double screen. And he killed him. He had like he had like 8-10 points in that same spot. And I'm like, yeah, KJ can shoot it, right? And he can score, but once you hit it once or twice on him, you got to after that. So you got to get the free throw line. You got to do something different than that. And I just went one and I kind of talked to him out there. And he was like, well, Coach, that ain't, I called it. We was, but it just wasn't happening. So it wasn't a situation that he didn't recognize it and he didn't try to make adjustments. It just didn't happen. But I guess the goal of defense is to not allow the offense to get into a rhythm, because if an offense get in a rhythm, it can be a long night for you, right?
Yeah,
a real long night for you. Mm-hmm. So for me, I would say it's underused, Coach, and I also say that it's not used like with you, Woodhaven. Y'all could go 32 minutes. Send people in. You bitches deep. You're not losing nothing. I may not have 10. I might not be 10 deep. I'm going to be 7. So 3 of them that I'm playing, I can't run it while they in there. So I gotta pick my spots. But it doesn't mean that I can't do it and mine can't be effective based off of my personnel and what I'm trying to get done. I don't know if that really answered your question or not.
Yeah, it did.
Coach Brooks with some insight, Coach.
Definitely. Just want to give context and curious to what other people thought.
Check out what Coach Brooks say in the chat. Well, I got it highlighted. You agree with that?
I agree with all of them, for sure. Especially with today's game and, like you said, the type of athletes that we have. We have multi-sport athletes where, they can't spend as much time on their skill work and on their game. So we're not as polished, even though we are more polished than we were years ago as far as offensively here in the county. So you got to be able to score, and those are great points by Coach Brooks.
Got to be able to score, Coach. It don't say how you score the basket.
No, it does not say.
Let's score it. So, yeah, Coach Brooks, like you know what you're doing, where y'all at. I like the thought process.
All right, next question, Coach, before we move on. Should public and private schools be separated when it comes to state championships? I went back and counted. Private won 1A, 2A, 3A, 6A, and 7A last year. Should we separate public and private schools as far as the state championship goes? I'm not only really talking basketball either.
I think if we are going to have different rules, which I know the rules have become much more lax, but if we're going to have different rules in place for private schools versus public, then I think it The only way I think they should it should be an even playing field. I should not be able to, as a private school, move in this way, and you in the public school are kind of handcuffed with how you can move, but we're competing for the same thing. So if all things are not being equal, then I think there is something to separating, because it becomes a matter of fairness. And if we're in high school sports and we're for kids and all that stuff that we say, then it should be fair, right? And so, is it fair right now with how some schools can move and some schools can't? I mean, because really, we only have in Polk County, we only got two private schools really that we got more than two, but we only got two that's really competitive at a state level, right? And that's, now I may be wrong, Victory and Santa Fe, right?
Yes, sir.
So some people within the county feel like Victory and Santa Fe don't have to play by the same rules. So there's a lot of people that feel that it should be separate. My thing on it is, if we're going to be playing for the same state championship, then we should have to play by the same rules as it relates to that. So private, you get to kind of, follow some rules and not follow some rules because you're private and you're not governed by anybody. I don't think that's fair from an athletic standpoint. Academic, and you run your day-to-day school, okay, if that's the way that's your mission. But all things being equal, I don't. If they're not playing by the same rules, I don't think they should
Even
be.
academically, it's not the same because you're not in private school. You don't have to take those same state tests in order to graduate. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? They determine their own graduation requirements. Some do have a test. I'm not saying that at all, because some do have some strenuous requirements to graduate, but they're not governed, have to pass, their math and ELA and some of these other tests in order to graduate, like public schools. I think it should be separated. I think it should be like, maybe two classes, maybe three classes of just private schools, and they compete for their own state championship. You know, um, you know, and then we'll see, what people complain about then, because no matter what, somebody gonna have something to complain about.
That's something to complain about. So, and you kind of put something in the group with me and PG about what's on the table. Will that have any impact on private and public, or that won't matter?
I don't think so. I think it's still the unlevel playing field is still there. But I'm
So,
curious to see how Florida high schools move next year.
and are we? If you've had a chance to look at other states, I know sometimes you kind of look at some of the stuff from a broader lens. Are we, as Florida, kind of only ones in the minority with following that model, or are we in the majority as far as like putting public and private together? Do other places separate them? Are
I
you
know
aware?
some people do separate them. Some people, like Kentucky, they only have one state championship, so everybody competing for one crown. It's different models out there. I think Florida is rich with talent in several sports. Football, basketball, and baseball, the major sports. I think Florida is flooded with talent. And I think everybody's looking for a chance to win the state championship. And I think separating public and private will make things a little bit more level. Because like private, I'm competing with other private schools. You know what I'm saying? I can't complain about, oh, they have these rules. You have the same rules. You gotta go talk to your administration about, and they can do what they want to about bending what rules or changing what rules or who they let in. When it goes to public school, you're dealing with public school issues. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
you even from a scheduling standpoint, coach. We have Winter Haven and not Winter Haven. We have Victory and Santa Fe, but coach, their schedules are primarily against public schools.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play private schools, so because there's no competition, really, not at the
Right.
level for
Right.
them.
I
So
I'm not and as they should. They're doing what they need to do in order to prepare for that road in the playoffs. But when it comes to competing for a state championship, most of the schools that Victory and Santa Fe play are private. You know what I'm
you think
saying?
it needs to be separate?
I think it needs to be separate because now, like, you get to the bigger classifications. You had St. Thomas Aquinas won 6A last year. Then you had Columbus win 7A. What if they actually had to compete against each other for that?
Columbus is considered private.
Columbus is private, coach. It's an all-boys school in Miami.
I never knew that. So, because you go by class size, so usually them private schools are pretty small.
Usually.
So Columbus and Aquinas are aberrations. Then they're not like
they're pretty big.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Do you have some that are bigger schools? American Heritage. You have some bigger private schools. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the cutoff would be as far as enrollment. That would be something to talk about. But I'm just interested to see. Because my thing is like Sagemont. Bro, there's no way they should be competing for a 1A state championship. No way. No way. You know what I'm saying? You have
Riviera Prep. Cavalry Christian in 3A.
You got college. You got Cavalry Christian. They got college rosters, coach. They should be competing against each other. Is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Coach, I saw somewhere. I don't know if it was Florida, another state, but the conversation was, why is it that just enrollment is the only criteria for determining the class of what the team's class they in? And I thought about that, but how else or what other criteria could it be to separate like 1A to 7A other than enrollment?
That's a great question. I wonder who's going to put that model together. You know what I'm saying? Because my only thing I could actually say is you could separate it by gender maybe, and then do the numbers by gender. So like, because you may have more boys than girls, so your boys programs might be in a higher class.
Then somebody gonna come hit you with Title IX, right? Somebody gonna have a Title IX issue with that.
But why would it be? You're basing it on numbers. It's like the ratio. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I'm at a school where we don't have many girls. So why would those girls be able to compete against schools that have triple the number of girls? You know what I'm saying? The ratios is different. So I don't know how else you would separate it. That would be interesting to see.
Coach, because people have had issues with that for forever. You had issue with it back when you were at Lake Wells. People get stuck in the wrong class based off their enrollment, and then the factors that go into it. Like, Coach, that one year I was at Lakeland a couple years, I guess, when they had us up in 7A, but they had Harrison kids counted with us. Mm-hmm. And Harrison, anybody who knows Harrison don't want nothing to do with Lakeland High School. No. So if they don't want nothing to do with Lakeland High School, why we got to count their kids? So we would have been like 5A without Harrison.
That's what's killing Bartow, because Summerlin counts, IB counts. You know what I'm saying? None of them kids playing for McGriff.
None of them kids ain't gonna play for McGriff, Coach. I mean, that year that we would have been 5A, Coach, we wouldn't have had to play Oviedo. We wouldn't have had to play that when we was in that Hill region. Mm-hmm. That was the year, because we should have been 5A that year. And things would have been whole, you should have, would have, could have. But based off of numbers, our numbers at Lakeland High School, we should not have been 7A, but they lumping us in with Harrison. And so if it's going to be enrollment, like you said, it needs to be caveats for schools that have those schools within a school that got their own. If I got my own school number, I shouldn't be counted with another school. Like Harrison has his own school number, so how are you counting Harrison's kids with Lakeland? Doesn't Summerlin have his own school number?
Yeah.
So how can you count those kids with Bartow? Bartow has his own school number. That's like
I think their accountability is together, which is crazy too. Like you can easily do their school grade separately, easily.
Come on, man. I think we lumping it together for somebody to not to do some extra work, and then it's affecting the sports. And I can speak on it because I don't work for Polk County Public Schools, so I think people. But I know, I've been in them rooms at one time or another, or 2 or 3 or 4 times. But I think that's a fallacy in how they have it set up, and that's just a county thing. Because other people not doing that. Other counties ain't counting kids that are not technically up under that school's number, as well they shouldn't. That's just our model in Polk County, which I don't think is a good model. But they don't care what I got to say. But I just thought that was interesting that the only way you count is by enrollment, but it's not even with the enrollment coach. It's not even to me, cut and dry across the board type of metric.
No,
there's variables inside of that, so that's not even. That's not even like apples to apples. It's apples to oranges. So does IB and Haines City count as a school? Yeah. They got their own school number?
I don't think so. I don't think so for Haines City.
Okay, because Haines City is 7A, and I know they'll run from 7A if they could, if they get IB kids counted. I ain't speaking for Coach Hill, but if I was coaching at Haines City, I would run from it if I could. Coach Hill probably good.
I mean, that's why Winter Haven is so big. Winter Haven at one point wasn't that big, but they one of the biggest schools in the county because now they have Cambridge on campus, and they also have a CFA campus now. So now you have, 2 flight academies in the county. One's on the east side, one's on the west. All those kids count.
So then Kathleen gets CFA kids count on Kathleen. Kathleen should be in a smaller class too, which they, 4A would be great for Kathleen, but especially in football, they need to be in a slower class because for them to have to keep playing they got to keep playing on people across town.
I think they need to go independent for a few years.
I've said that too, and it got real quiet. But I'm an alumni, so I don't know how we, as in Kathleen football, how we can ever catch up unless we do something like it helped Haines City. Who else? Haines City went independent, and I just think I don't know if we're gonna ever, from a football perspective. Now basketball in time may be different, but from a football perspective, I don't know when we're gonna ever catch up. So I really think independent is, but you got to put your pride to the side. Shout out to Rank. Let's see what Coach Ambo said.
Coach Ambo basically said keep it base it on past success. That would be interesting. That would be really interesting.
So that would be interesting, but then I like that. But the devil's advocate would be like, well, you can't judge my 2016 off my 25 team because all of them gone. So I could see that, but that's a good point, a good metric to add to it. But I just don't think it should just be attendance because the attendance is not. It's just not apples and apples from one school or one county to the next. And so unless you can make that just a cut and dry type of deal, I don't know if it should just be. I don't know what to add to it. I just think it should. I just don't think with all these like school grades, you got all these things that go into a school grade. I think it should be more than just attendance or enrollment that goes into a classification. I just think now, like I said, I don't know what else should go into the pot, but I think it should be more than just numbers of kids. Because even when they do it, coach, like they do it in the spring before the school year start, and my spring numbers I had 2,500. First day of school I got 1,900, but I'm stuck in 7A or whatever the A is because when y'all took my numbers at the time, that's where I was at.
Coach, it's gonna be based on last year enrollment. It's not
That's what
even
I'm
based
saying.
on this year.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like the same thing. Last year I had 2,500 kids. This year, for whatever reason, brand new school came. Kids left. They didn't come. Remember I said they had all these stories where kids weren't even showing up to school at the start of the year. So I might have less kids than I did last year, but I'm still being
Yeah.
held to last year's numbers and expectations.
If I'm ADs, I appeal that, and those are the reasons what I would use to move to another class. Like the year that I spoke to y'all about, in 2011, we lost in the state championship team. We was in 5A with a 3A enrollment. You know what I'm saying? Because originally when it came out, they had us at 4A. I looked at it and we qualified for 3A, but the county AD talked my AD into moving up to 5A, talking about having an all Polk County district, and we still didn't have an all Polk County district. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you can appeal it.
Appeals don't really go through either, right? Though you can appeal it, but once they make their mind up, it's hard to get them to change their mind, right?
Yeah. Some, like I said, if you have enough, facts behind you.
Oh, okay. All right, man. That's good. Two good convos, coach. I always come with the good stuff. In season convos be a little more practical, a little more relevant.
For sure.
So, all right. Well, without further ado, we do have our guest in the back in the prep room. Really needs no introduction, but we're gonna do it anyway. One of probably the hardest working coach in the state, not just Polk County. Just got out the gym and decided he told us he can give us a couple minutes of his time. We do appreciate him working us in. I know he in season, probably never out of season for him, but he officially in season. So happy to have him on to speak on his squad, the season, and everything that is related to Santa Fe Catholic basketball. So without further ado, we want to welcome to the show head coach Mike Blicher. What's going on, sir? Thank you for tapping in with us this evening, coach.
Absolutely my pleasure, as always. I greatly appreciate everything you guys do, the entertainment value it provides, but also like just the importance it provides for the kids and stuff like that.
Entertainment value, coach. You that's a very good word to use when it comes, coach. You are Coach, well, anyway, we'll let you get started, Coach. Anything you want to say? We always, you've been around the horn a little bit. Anything you want to say to start off? If that was your start, that's fine. We'll just jump right in. But if anything you want to start off with?
I'm just excited to get the season started, excited to start a new year. I think it's very important. I obviously I was watching the podcast last week and Fitz just talking about how you've got to turn the page and get ready for the next year and not dwell or try and you can't really even build on last year because so many changes happen from one season to another. You got to start new, you got to start fresh, and you got to be ready to go.
Well, Coach, and you got to, so I'm going to start off like I started off with Coach last week. Just give us a quick check-in, if you don't mind, about how is Tate doing with the transition up to Chattanooga.
I talked with him on the phone yesterday, had a great end of preseason talk with his head coach. But like any other freshman, nothing's promised, everything's earned. He could play 4 to 6 minutes early on, or he could play up to 20 minutes. It just kind of depends on game flow and how they've got a exhibition game on Monday against an NAI school, and everything, they just chart everything. They're so analytically based and result driven. And so it's just he's got to continue to put in great practices after great practices. He tested really well all fall. I mean, we know who he is. He's a basketball savant almost. Like he's just been around the game his whole life. So he picks up on stuff way quicker than most. And this day and age, he's competing against a lot of kids that are in the first year in of being at Chat as well. So it's like, yeah, he might not be as physical as them. He might not jump as high as them. Might not be as old as them, but he can pick up on stuff a lot quicker. So I think he's got a chance to make a big impact at Chattanooga, and we're excited to say the least.
Is he playing the one or the two?
He plays off the ball for the most part, but they'll bring it. They'll have 2 or 3 guards bring it up at any time to get into their quick Princeton action.
So, Coach, you say this analytical. They chart everything.
Defensively, offensively, whether it's 2 people shooting at a hoop, they're charting bad passes, rebounds that hit the ground. Like it's crazy detailed. They get a rating every week on how they're doing offensively and defensively, and they flat out just compare them to everybody. So I'm interested to see how often that dictates playing time, because if that's the case, he's going to play a ton.
He should be in good shape.
Yep.
How do you feel about analytics, Coach, from a high school, from like with you and your program? How you feel like that? How you feel that translates to high school?
I was talking with Jackson Fitz today about that, and I was just like, we only have a certain amount of kids that can truly impact the game. So yeah, we can kind of fuss at some stuff, but we've got to get the most out of our guys, whether it's making them aware of good shot, great shot with percentage in different areas. But you guys have seen my bench. It's myself and Coach McKay, and we're lucky if we got anybody else around. So we're doing as much as we can possibly can with that. But at the same time, Coach Billy D pointed it out early last year. If we play tough and we're the same tough team that we normally are each year, we're going to be fine. And that's kind of what my focus has to be on, more so than what percentage we're shooting from corner threes and stuff like that.
Coach, is this year 7?
10. This is year 10. Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies. So from year 1 to year 10, how much has, and I know you're from up north, so how much has basketball changed from year 1 to year 10 in this Florida version of basketball?
I mean, to be honest, it's probably just more of awareness on my perspective, but holy crap, is the state talented. Like Orlando area, down south, we know that they're really talented. I mean, Jacksonville's got some of the top teams with Providence, Impact Christian, and just Tampa got very talented kids at times and stuff like that. And then our area, I just feel like our depth of the quality of our top kids is really impressive. And it's just I just didn't know. I was like any other out of state. Oh, it's a football state. It's a football area. And I'm like, I don't think you can say that anymore. I mean, I just look at all the kids we've played in the past that are now in the NBA. I mean, Taylor Hendricks, Bryce Sensabaugh, Walter Clayton, the Thompson twins, like all these kids we've played against either in the summer, Janai Broom, kids we've played against in the summer, and now they're all in the NBA. Josh Minot, who beat us at St. Andrews, putting up big time stats at the Celtics after his first start last week. Like, it's just impressive.
Coach, and just even from that perspective, and one thing that you've always done is you've always scheduled tough. You've never ran from competition, and we talked about that. I don't know if you heard the conversation before you jumped on about private to public. Yep. And we said, like, you have to play those big public schools because otherwise you won't get any competition if you just play your area, your level around here. Talk about how, and even like this year, Coach, you, like you said, you start over and you schedule tough people. You don't run from competition. What is it that is your mindset as it relates to going into putting a schedule together? Because everybody has a different philosophy of how they put together a schedule. So what's yours?
Some would say dumb/stubborn, probably some sort of combination of that, maybe ignorance as well, but it's bliss, I'll tell you that. No, I'm a terrible coach when we're playing a bad team. I'm even angrier than I normally am. Everything bothers me because I know we're not getting anything out of it. We're creating a false sense of confidence. We're taking out like it's just silly basketball in my opinion. So why not go find people that are going to challenge you to be the best version of yourself? And if you just win a few of the, like strength of schedule doesn't matter if you're not getting wins. But if you get a couple of those wins, it's huge. It's altering of the rating system, and that's just our goal is to get ready for the playoffs, but also like let's challenge ourselves on a daily basis.
Coach, that's a big point that a lot of people miss, that you can schedule those games, but if you're not winning them, it's really not helping you as much as people would think. Right. And I know you studied that strength of schedule and that stuff kind of just as much as, as Billy Duke coach does. From a strength of schedule perspective, how much goes into what the team did last year as it relates to, like, say when you're looking at the schedule of team and you're saying you're scheduling tough opponents, and tough opponents will take care of the strength of schedule and that kind of stuff. But because things change so much now, like the team that you schedule in April may not be the team that is on your schedule in October or November. I don't know if I'm making sense with the question.
No, I completely understand. Look at us. Like, there's teams that scheduled us, and we're a lot different than we thought we'd look at. Like at this point, however, it's just you schedule. Like I mainly schedule with coaches I know. Like I know those coaches. It doesn't matter what they have; they're going to be really good. It's going to be a tough game. Lake Highland Prep. We're going to schedule him as Ben as much as we can. Now it's TFAs looking like they're going to be good every year, so I'm going to try and find them on a schedule. Villages, like I know they're going to get kids in no matter what. They might lose a kid here and there, but they're going to also get like 4 or 5 kids. It's just programs. Like you just trust the programs that play the right way. We see them all fall. We saw them in the summer. Like I don't know if you guys know this. I'm on social media a little bit. So when I'm consuming social media on a daily basis, I see the movements and I see where kids are going and stuff like that. And so let's try and play against some of those kids.
And you speak about that, Coach. You leverage social media a lot for in a good way, and you promote your kids and you promote your program. And how I guess 2 parts. How important? When did you realize that was kind of like a cheat code? And since it's not like it's hid in a book somewhere, why do you think more people don't follow suit? Not necessarily follow suit of you, but that's how some see it. Like they don't want to do it because my thing on it is, Coach, I learned this a long time ago in education. Good teachers still. If you're doing something, me and PG talked about this the other day, and this is from business, not necessarily sports. But if you're doing something and it's clearly working, why am I trying to reinvent the wheel when it's right there in front of me? Like I don't get that with grown men, but it's a lot of them that do it. So, and
Time. Okay. It's time. It's literally just time consuming. I totally get why somebody wouldn't do it, but I also think we were given a great example with the Alex Sessom and how Vince handled everything he did. Like, I think every parent should do that. Every parent should videotape their kids' stuff, clip their kids' stuff. I just think, like, if I had every parent doing that and they sent me all that stuff, and I would post stuff even more if that's possible, because it is time consuming. Me watching Baller TV and taking screenshots and then organize it into a video, that takes me an hour. Luckily, I've got a lot of free time on my hands during, like, when I'm hanging out and stuff like that. So like I and it's fun. Like I enjoy watching our guys play extra basketball when I'm not coaching them. So I get to do that, but it's a ton of time. I don't have kids in travel basketball. I don't like my personal kids. They do local stuff, so I'm not traveling all over with them. So I have extra time right now, but I could see why most coaches don't, especially with what we're getting paid to do what we do already. I get that. But I also enjoy it. Like that's like I'm not easy to play for. I think that is very clear to see. So how can I build relationships with kids, build bonds, show them that I care? Well, time really is what I believe in. If we invest time into kids, I'm truly showing you how I care about you. And so when I spend time and I'm posting them and stuff like that, that's, I mean, it's weird, but that's kind of like in our modern day, that's their love language. Like getting that attention on social media and stuff like that, they love that. And so it's a great way to build a relationship with our guys.
Coach Mike, I got a couple questions for you. I was gonna put you on the spot, but I'm gonna give you an out. Can you name your top 3 favorite moments at Santa Fe?
Top 3 favorite moments.
Yes, sir. I was gonna say one. I was gonna put you on the spot, but I'm gonna give you top 3.
I mean, just like seeing our guys and Tate especially have his moment at the Lakeland Center. I don't think that can really be beaten just because I saw how hard he worked for that moment, and then I also saw how much he was struggling in December with a sprained MCL that nobody will really understand how much pain he was in, and shin splints. Like he couldn't move. Like he could move before that injury and after the injury when we gave him 6 days off on Christmas break. And just for him to work his butt off, go into the Lakeland Center stupid confident, and then also perform at the level he performed at. I thought that was really cool. I mean, obviously Toby was really special that in those 2 games as well, and our guys just bought into each other. So that was just so much fun. So that will be number 1. Number 2 will be every signing day, and then number 3 is every time I get to watch our guys play in college.
Okay.
So like today, I went over to Tampa, University of Tampa, and I was actually officiating a scrimmage just mainly so I could just go watch our guys, Trey, and then even Jordan from Victory. We got to see him play today. He played really well.
Coach, share about how important is fundraising for your program. We have a lot of off the air conversations, and we never really talked about it on the air with other coaches. But can you just share how important fundraising is? Because of we know what your schedule is. We know you're all over the state, and then also during the summer you travel to Georgia, but that takes resources. So can you just share with everybody, how important fundraising is?
Well, I mean, we've done camps over Thanksgiving break, Christmas break, spring break camp here and there when my wife allows that. We were doing MLK Day camps. We were doing Labor Day camps. We do 3 weeks of summer camps, and all that money has been poured into our program because I didn't have the alumni. I didn't have the businesses because I wasn't a local guy. So we had to find a way to raise money because, I mean, these parents and fans and local administrators probably have no idea. It costs anywhere $7,000 and $9,000 for June now, between hotels and travel, the van rentals, if we're not able to use our buses, the meals, which we don't even provide. I don't even have to provide meals for most of our kids now. I did in our 2020s for the most part. I'd try and help them out as much as possible, but like we didn't like our parents are very like helpful, but it's stupid expensive. And then in season, all the hotel stays and New Jerseys are I mean, how silly is it that our high school basketballs cost $120 each, and we're lucky if they last 3 months in our gym. So just now we're starting to get to the point where we've got local businesses. We have families. I mean, even a couple families that transferred out over time, like they're still helping out because they knew how much we poured into our kids. And then you have the videographers that we're paying for, and we're the subscriptions for Huddle and stuff like that. It is crazy expensive, but it's okay. It is what it is, and we're going to find a way each and every time. And we're so thankful for the people like Neil O'Toole Law Firm, Environmental Equipment Services, my buddy Corey Peavy. Like they just continually pour into our program because they see what we're doing. They see why we're doing it. We see the kids that we're producing through our program that are just not awesome on the court, but also off the court. So it's intense. It's a lot of work. I actually think that is the most tiring part of the job, is trying to find ways to make things happen. But we do what we do because we just find a way.
And I wanted you to talk about that because I don't think people realize, how much money is being needed for programs. And you know, you putting a number on just June alone. We're not even talking about during the season. Like 9 and 10 grand for June is that's a crazy number. So just imagine how much these teams need during the season. Like we're going to Fresno and Portland, and we're flying from Portland to Atlanta. Like, like I am begging, I am pleading for every program, for every community to feed to help these programs out because they need it. In the end, it's about the kids. It's not about us. It's just about the kids. And I appreciate you sharing that, Coach.
Yeah, we've tried just about every different way to do it, and it just I mean my biggest thing is we have every single one of our students, which you were talking about private public, we might have to classify a couple private schools with us because we have every kid that pays tuition. Tate Darner paid full tuition for his first 2 years because they didn't qualify for step up. And then the last 2 years, everybody has qualified for step up the last 3 years. So they every single kid is still paying something to go to Santa Fe. I don't scholarship anybody. I think I've actually had this talk with parents. They got mad at me that I didn't recruit their kid to come to Santa Fe when I haven't recruited a single kid to come to Santa Fe. Because how can I say, hey, stop going to a free school and come pay to come to our high school? So because our kids are all paying tuition, I really like to try and support our basketball kids without having to say, Mom and Dad, I need you guys to pay $500, $800 for the year for your sports fee. Because that's kind of the model that we're getting to. And I don't feel comfortable doing that.
That is the model, Coach. And I don't know how we got here, but we're here. Coach, you spoke about your number one. It's a shame that we're here, but it is a reality. You talked about your number one moment was seeing the guys, and you made history getting to the state championship, one game away. Talk about when did you kind of feel like, you know what, we got a shot at making a run? Was it like first day of practice? Ask Coach Fitzgerald the same question. Was it like mid-season? Like when did it for you? You started being like when you went home with your wife and you with your coaches, like we might have something with this, or did it? How did that come about?
Uh, I mean, I thought we were really good in June. I thought we were like, if we tried to win that summer league, I think we win that pretty casually. But our goal was Tate being healthy and Toby being healthy for the live period, because then Tate went and got 8 more offers at the live period in Gainesville and Georgia. But we just played really tough teams in June. I remember we were playing Edgewater, who I thought was really good last year. And Tate looks at me and goes, Coach, we can't stop them. We got to go zone. And I said, it's summer. Please just outscore them. And then he went and outscored them. And so, like, it was just one of those things where, like, I knew we were really good heading into the year. And then when the, like, regions dropped and I saw Marte Barnes had left Holy Trinity, and I think there was one other kid that was significant that left our region, I was like, okay, this looks really good. Let's go. Let's see how good we can become as a team, regardless of what our region was. And we took our lumps in December. Some of that was injury related. Some of that was just a hellacious schedule. And then once we got cooking in January, I felt really good about who we were and what we were doing. And then obviously the winning over Evans in the Mosaic kind of like said, hey, we're not just a good team. We're a pretty dang good team. And then getting into the Final Four, like, I didn't know what to expect with our guys because University Christian was huge. And it just, we had Tate and they didn't. And if we just had a better coach, we probably would have got the guy more shots in the championship game. We would have had a better chance to win.
Coach, we sat there and watching the Mosaic, And I was sitting there with Coach Coach Hen and Coach Billy D, and I remember you was getting on Toby, like getting it to him, and he was just he was looking at you. He never fluffed. I say, y'all was struggling at that point. I said, Santa Fe gonna win this game. They're like, you think? I'm telling you now. I don't know how they're gonna figure it out, but they're gonna win this. I just had to. It's just like your guys were not like phased. I think that's when, because I hadn't saw you guys play like live, but when I saw that game, I told them out, and I told PG, like, it's just like they just had something outside of tape. You know what you're getting with tape, but it was like the other guys, and they wasn't phased by the moment. And coach, I know that comes from how you coach them, how hard you coach them, and some people, you got people that feel a certain way about you on this side, certain people. But like I was having a conversation one time, I said, you say what you want to say about Coach Blicher, but nobody working harder than him, and he putting kids in school, and he not just putting them in school, they staying in school. So kind of as Coach Wood said, the same thing. What's the secret sauce, Coach, for you preparing them, developing them for the next level, and then they go and they stay? They don't just go and pass through and they right back in Polk County. So what goes into the development of a kid to prepare them to play at the next level?
Well, in 2020, I think COVID had a lot to play with it, but we had 4 kids that went to school and only one went to school a second year. And it was one of those things where I had to truly take a step back and think about, how am I coaching these kids? What am I allowing that I can't allow? And just letting kids do stuff that just won't be allowed at the next level. I think it's a very, like, I didn't play at the highest level. I played at NAIA basketball, but for as unathletic as I am and 5'8", I think that is the highest level I could have played at, and kind of got everything out of my God-given ability at that level in basketball, actually. And so like now when I coach kids, it's not to be mean or anything. It's just, here's our standard. Here's the standard that has worked for others, which I think, going back to what set up Tate Darner, was Trey Lane and Elvin Tumblin being not only coachable, but how hard they worked every single day, and how they wanted to be coached. I mean, I remember Elvin at Christmas time, I asked every kid, how can I help us and help you be better? And Elvin just asked me, coach me harder, coach me, tell me more what to do, hold me to a higher standard. And here's Elvin, one, looking down at me a good 11 inches or so, looking down at me. And just, I mean, I had just come off the crazy Bartow game, which I think is one of the most impressive individual performances I had seen. And we're at 35 and took us to overtime. And I was just like, okay, I've got to hold these guys to a standard that is higher. Kind of, I mean, that's how I was coached in high school by a Hall of Fame coach, Dan Fife, up in Clarkson. There's a standard, and if we hold kids to it, they might not love it now. They might not love it most days. But if you hold everybody to that same standard, they can't say, oh, it's not fair. But they also will say thank you when they get older, when they get to college. And they're going to say thank you in a couple decades, as long as I'm still living and not dying of a heart attack on the sideline. But I'm coaching kids how I was coached, and I'm coaching kids how I would want to be coached and how I'd want somebody to coach my son. Like, hold them to a standard, achieve more than anybody else would ever expect you to achieve. And then when you get to that next level, there's nothing that you're going to be surprised by. You're not going to be shocked by, oh, they don't really love me like they said on my recruiting trip. No, they love you when you can do stuff. So do it.
Coach, you have built a state level program at Santa Fe. 10 years ago when you came in, that was not a state level type of program. You've built we talk all the time about what's a program and how do you build a program and the components and that kind of thing. And we say that it's not a lot that we can give that title to in Polk County, unfortunately. You're one of the top, not just in Polk County, but in the state. how difficult is it to build a pro? Because you're doing it you did a small private school where kids pay to go, so you're not public, you're not getting the same resources, you don't have the same type of access, and like you said, you came from out of state, so when you started, you didn't know anybody, so you really built it from the ground up, literally. You didn't get the keys handed to you, nobody, standing there to help you along the way. So, what's your secret sauce, as much as you want to share, of how you've built the program compared to, the easy thing is for people to say you can't do it. And you've shown clearly that you can.
Well, first, the interview that I went on when I got to Santa Fe, I had no idea where Santa Fe was. I live in South Lakeland, 14 minutes from Santa Fe. I had to look up directions on how to get there for that interview. I had been in the gym one time. I saw Gervon Dexter play as an eighth grader the year before with Frostproof versus Santa Fe. I'd been in the gym. I'm terrible with directions. Had no idea where this place was. I showed up and I was like, cool. There's not much here. We have one gym, which coming from Michigan, we had four gyms, full courts in my high school alone. So I was just like, wow, there's not a ton here. It must be tiny, and was smaller than I expected. And so I was just trying to figure out ways to connect to the community. And it wasn't about, at that time, it wasn't about building a program. It was, what did my high school do? Well, we had camps. Okay, well, let's start a Christmas camp. We started a Christmas camp, and luckily my dad kept telling me, like, hey, there's nothing wrong with something starting really small. Because I think we had 9 kids in the little kids camp, and we had, I don't even know if we had 20 kids in the older kids camp. And I was in that gym from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. 4 days with those older kids. And then the little kids were just an hour and a half. One of the little kids was Toby Lane. He was in the gym because I had trained a couple kids at Kelly Rec and at Simpson Park outside. So I knew some younger kids, and I was reffing at Kelly Rec. So I had a way to like get kids to connect to kids through training and camps. And so that's just what I started right away. And it's grown from there. Last year, 9 out of 10 kids that we had dressed for the state finals had come to camps when they were in middle school, if not elementary school. So just had to do it differently. And so like when everybody was giving me a hard time about, oh, these kids are transferring in and you must be recruiting, every kid besides Alvin came as a camper before they transferred in. I guess Harvey too. But those two were connected to one family, had very little to do with me. Everybody else, though, I had known when they were in middle school, if not before that. So, like, there's just a relationship, and we all do. That's how we live life. We work through relationships, and we go through what's comfortable, and we go through people we trust. And had the opportunity to build trust with a lot of kids in our community and their parents. And that's what I had 24 kids in the gym tonight from middle school, elementary to middle school. It's just a great way to connect. It's a great way to fund our program, to continue to fund our program. And so it's just something that I'm having fun with. My first meeting when I told the guys I had 3 goals: make the alumni proud, which will be you included, of our program. Second thing was make it an experience, not just try and win, but make it a great experience. That's why we've always done holiday tournaments. That's why we've always done stuff in the summer, just to try and build an experience. Because, you guys see it. These gyms are not packed like I was used to from up north. So how can we really make it an experience? Well, let's go play schools that do have good student sections or that are really talented. Let's go do some cool stuff in the Christmas break. And then my third thing was just, to be honest, just to keep having fun with it. Like, I know I don't always look like I'm having fun, if ever, coaching, but competing is fun. Like, you can't find competition as you get older without really, truly like being involved in sports. And this is my way of staying connected to sports, and I'm having a ton of fun with it.
Well, Coach, you talked at the beginning about turning the page. So last year was historic. It was epic. You made a state run, ended up being 2A state runners up. But this year is brand new. So talk about what you got, your team that you got coming back this year. Talk about who you got coming back, and just kind of what we can expect from those guys.
Well, obviously we're led by Toby. I mean, the kid's just special, absolutely special. He was one of the. I think by the time this year ends, he will have more hours in the gym with me than any other kid. So like, it's just cool. So I'm gonna enjoy every moment of that. Like even tonight, I had two new older kids, eighth graders, and the rest of my training group was all like seventh graders and younger. And I put Toby with those two eighth graders, and you should see how sweaty this kid was, how much he was coaching them, putting them through drills. Like we were doing drills as a large group, and then we did ones in small groups. And this man, I mean, you would have thought it was the NBA Finals. Dude just went hard, so hard. I think that's so valuable for kids to learn from. That like, hey, there's a kid he's a senior, he has scholarships, he's gonna get more. He was third team all state, and on a Sunday evening in the fall, he's here just to whoop your butt and teach you everything he knows. Like that's just so valuable for these kids. But then we've got returners. We've got, I think, Uriah Newkirk. We've got, I think, a lot of the local guys that are very pro Lakeland Fire, which I totally understand. Tough kids. We've got some toughness. We've got some Lakeland Fire kids with led by Uriah Newkirk and Shannon MacArthur coming over from Lakeland. Who, I don't know if you guys see those Instagram pictures, but Shannon's camp pictures they're right up there with Trey Lane in terms of goofiness, but also fun.
Yeah.
And then returning KJ Foster, we lost him over the summer as he was trying to figure out what he was going to do, which was all academic based. He really wanted to get into collegiate and whatnot, but then he decided to come back, so that was huge. And then we're returning a couple young guys, Devin Harris and Abbott, that played some varsity time last year, but have had a huge summers. And then probably our most improved player is Charlie Hedden, who went to McKeel his freshman year, was a JV kid, but he was a camper from day one, and he's grown to about 6'4", 6'5", and he's just a lights out shooter. And then we've got a couple guys that came over from, one was a move-in because his dad got a job in Lakeland, Brad Webb, who came over from the Orlando area. You know when you get those emails as a coach that, hey, my son's coming to your school, he's a senior, and you get really like that sick feeling in your stomach about, oh no, like how am I going to make this senior experience somewhat decent? And then he shows up and he's a 6'2" strong guard that can shoot it and is one of our more athletic kids. Yeah, that was surprising. That was awesome though. That was a nice little fun little nugget to run into. But and then we're actually Danny Davis, freshman, 6'5", gonna be a monster. He made varsity after a great week of tryouts. He's one of those kids that kind of like what Tate's coach said. You can play 6 minutes, you can play 20 minutes, but holy crap, I'm excited for his future.
Okay.
So I like our team a lot. I mean, we also have got some football toughness. We got two kids from the football team that are junior and seniors, Zyrell and Drew. So, and then we've got just like we were talking about a program. I think we have the best JV team in the county. I mean, based on how they've played all summer and fall, they are talented and all for the most part all freshmen, and it's really fun to not have 7 kids dressed for a regional final game, and that's it, and not have a single JV kid that you're going to bring up for varsity the following year, how it was in 2020 to now in 2025, 26. That we're deep. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you look at things. So how do you feel about your district and also your region this year compared to last year?
Our district Foundation Academy, I thought they were pretty good last year. They could really score the ball, and we were able to just take them entirely out of all their actions. And then they just had zero answers for us offensively. They ended up losing their best player to Oak Hill, which it's very questionable on if he should have gone to Oak Hill or not. But
Oak Hill,
that
yes, that Oak Hill.
that Oak Hill. I don't know if they have a second and third team, but yeah.
Okay.
But he was pretty good. He was pretty good. So I wasn't mad at that transfer. And then our rival that hasn't beat us in the last 9 years is also in our district. So and I think Victory got their second or third best player. So not too stressed out about that. And then our region, I think there's two dark horses in our region based on hires, but I just haven't seen transfers. It's one of those things where you just kind of got to let it play out, and let's focus on how crazy I made this schedule and try and win some games.
Talk about your schedule a little bit, because it's very ambitious right off
Yeah.
the top. Right off
Yeah.
the top, Coach. You're not running. You jump right in it, Coach. So
Yeah, Lake Highland Prep, they're I watched them play at the Big House a couple weeks ago. They're really good. It is an absolute test. But I also think, like, from a high school perspective, kids are really coachable when the other teams show us our weakness. Like, hey, we're not as good as we think we are. And I think that's going to kind of be shown a few times early on. And that's okay. So we go Lake Highland Prep, Haines City, then we have to play TFA at CFCA over Thanksgiving break, and then we play at the Hoop Feast. And then we've got Bartow and Victory before Christmas. It's a fun start.
yeah, you got the Villagers too, right?
We don't play the Villages till in January. That's second to last game of the regular season. I told Colt make it senior night, so he has to play his seniors a lot.
So, Coach, you kind of you did a fall shootout this year, and also you're doing a Christmas tourney this year. So you're continuing to kind of just expand with how you are presenting your product to folks. And like you said, Coach, I mean, you're coaching the kids up, and the product speaks for itself. I mean, especially if you're an offensive kid, the way you run, and me and Coach was talking about it in Bartow, like they were like running some really good stuff, Coach. Like you got Tate, obviously Tate is a cheat code, right? And I don't think you realize, and we sat there and watched it, how good he is on defense, and not just on the ball. It's like making sure that everybody else is where he's always like talking. He's always communicating and putting people in position. So when you go into those games, Coach, even if on paper it looks a certain way, you got to feel pretty good about your lead guard. Like he's good as anybody in the state, and if you got good guard play, then you figure you got a shot, right? And that's all you can really ask for at the end of the day. I mean,
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Like, I mean, as a high school coach, and to be honest, like, I had Ray Davis for 3 years, and he was an unbelievable point guard. I think he's probably one of the most underrated kids we've had in our county over the last 10 years since I've been involved. And he made things so easy because he was just so smart, quick. And Toby's right there. Like, I mean, you look at him and you think, wow, how is he good at basketball? And then you look at his arms and they're really long, and you look at it and you can't measure his motor, but it is unbelievable. But I had 3 D2 college coaches reach out to me after he went to IMG back-to-back days. He was one of only like 5 kids that was crazy enough to go back-to-back days. 7 hours on Friday, 7 hours on Saturday. And all 3 of those coaches were like, on Saturday, when nobody wanted to be there, coaches included, here's Toby diving on loose ball, talking. Like, he's the same person every day. And if you're an everyday guy, it might be the most valuable thing in life right now is consistency, because you don't see it in people. We are a path of least resistance, especially us guys. Like, we want what's easy and we want what's, casual and comfortable. And Toby, I mean, credit to his parents. Like, I mean, they produced two humans in Trey and Toby that, I mean, I call Trey Psycho T, and Toby's right up there, except for he's just a lot nicer than Trey is most of the time. But he's just like, they're just crazy in terms of their work ethic and their consistency, and it's so valuable. So I get to coach that one more year. Like, so thankful for that.
Coach, what's one thing, as we get ready to let you go, what's one thing that you're leaving behind in 2024, 25, and what's one thing you're bringing with you in 25, 26?
I like I like Fitz's answer when he's talked about, hey, we got to leave what we did last year behind, and this year I get to bring an amazing team with me. And like, obviously, kids are gonna leave. I'm not for everybody. I'm not for everyone. But at the same time, I get to coach an unbelievable group of student athletes this year, just like I got to coach an unbelievable group of student athletes last year. And like I don't take that for granted. Like, our kids are unbelievable kids. They're fun to be around. They're good students. They care about each other. So I get that opportunity this year. And last year's over. Like, I get to go follow Tate at Chattanooga. I get to watch Trey at Tampa, Alvin at Palm Beach. Johnny's playing 30 plus minutes at Weber in his first two games. Like, last year's over, but this year's gonna be just as fun.
That's so great, Coach, that you got those guys producing and you still support them. Just, I see, Coach, you go and still connect with your guys. Coach Fitz just got off a plane going to see LJ. McGriff was out at Walt's first game. You guys just do it the right way, and it doesn't just end when their eligibility ends with you. And that goes a long way toward the program and the success that you had. So, Coach, we appreciate you giving us your time, man. Even after being in the gym, working, just always working. Know you one weekend, so you kind of know who you got now. So before you get out, anything you want to leave us with, anything you hadn't spoken on, anything you want to talk about before we let you go?
No, I will say, like, I don't think I talk about it enough, and I try to touch on it a little bit when in the interview for the magazine, which, shout out to the magazine. If you haven't got your magazine, make sure you're ordering it. But like, the consistency that we've had in our program that has allowed us to build it into an actual program, a lot of that, yes, I'm there for just about everything. But Aubrey McKay, my assistant coach, I didn't accept the job until he said he would help me out. And to be honest, I had no idea his basketball background. Couldn't care less. He is I taught with him at Lake Gibson Middle School at the time, and he connects with kids as a teacher better than I've ever been around on any other teacher. And the value that provides to our program, because we know I'm hard to deal with. It is a lot at all times. And for him to be in the background, not just putting out the fires, but also picking kids up, but also, I mean, he backs me up with the kids too a lot of times, because he sees the same thing and he's been around every single year. That consistency has been amazing for our program. And I just want to make sure people know this isn't a one-man show. Like, our guys do an amazing job of teaching the younger kids how things are done. And that really started with Alvin and Trey, and then Cooper. I used to talk with Trey and Cooper a ton about, hey, your legacy will be what Tate does. So now their legacy should be way more elevated, because Tate did some crazy things. Just like Tate and Toby had to take on Abbott and Uriah over the last couple years. I mean, the growth that I've seen with these young guys is special. And it's not just me. It's our actual guys that actually take the time to care about them. Because it's easy to just say, my senior year, I'm going to go get mine. But no, they do things the right way each and every day. So between our guys just wanting to be coach and wanting to care about each other, and then Coach McKay just being my right-hand man at all times, it's just so much fun. I'm thankful for the opportunity, to say the least.
Well, shout out to Coach McKay, man. He's quiet.
Quiet.
He's consistent, and you can tell. And I'm glad you gave him his flowers. We're real big on giving people their flowers on here. And Coach, and like you say, the magazine is out in the mail. So But man, the interview that you and Coach Fitzgerald did, man, it was pretty good. It ended up being multiple pages because I'm like, I'm not cutting nothing out. It was all of it was like that good to me. So it's multiple pages and it's all of it was really good. So thank you once again for for participating. And we
Coach, I
appreciate.
want to publicly thank you for hosting our first coaching clinic too. That was huge for the platform. Um, and I want to publicly thank you for that. I think it was for the first year. I think it was a great success. We're looking forward to next year.
Absolutely. I thought it was unbelievable the quality of coaches in that gym. Like, it will always baffle me on how people don't find time for something like that. But like my dad said early with my camps, it's okay to start a little small, even though I think it was double, if not triple the numbers I expected, to be honest, in terms of attendance. But why would that not grow? Like, why would that not grow? Especially with the games afterwards, the quality that you guys were able to bring in, like that was high level basketball to the point where, I mean, there might have been more college coaches in that gym that day than most of these high schools have seen in the last decade.
Wow, coach. It was and like you say, we asked you, coach. It wasn't a hesitation. It was like, hey, y'all want to do it? Sure. And so we very fortunate here, and the county is very fortunate to have you. Thank you for all you do, and just the spotlight you put on, the connections you're making. You've made Santa Fe relevant. You made the state power, and Polk County is better for it. So thank you, Coach. We wish you well this season. We know you guys are going to do great. Know you're excited to get it going, and we have high expectations for you. They say that I'm biased, which I am. I like us against anybody. That's just who I am. But you make it easy, Coach. So thank you for everything you do, Coach, and appreciate you tapping in with us tonight, especially after you was in the gym for 2 hours working on Sunday night. So good luck to your season, Coach, and thank you again. Take care.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Man, that was pretty good.
Yeah, man. Coach Blicher always entertaining for sure.
Coach, and he take away all excuses, Coach.
Yeah.
It's like he literally just in that interview, he just took away all excuses. What can you say? What can you say as to why you can't do? He don't have no feeders, which he kind of created a feeder. He don't have no middle school kids. He don't have no football team. He literally got it out the mud and got all the way to the championship game. And you can't just say he ran for nobody, Coach, because he playing people. No. He playing these people and he beating these people. So what else can you? And he putting people in school, Coach, and they going and they're staying and they're producing. Mm-hmm. So like him, love him, whatever. We love Coach Blick. We're here at Polk Coots because he good people, he good guy, and clearly the kids feel the same way. So appreciate Coach Blicker stopping through, man. And once again, when you get that magazine, man, it's good, great interview. Him and Coach Fitzgerald, great interview. I was very, very thankful that they both agreed and that they poured into it. It's gonna be a lot of gems in it. So man, we off next week, Coach, and then we got the final round of our preseason media day guest coaches, and we finish up with none other than I guess some people call him the GOAT, right? A lot of people call him the GOAT. He very, very near and dear, obviously, to me. We go back 30 plus years, and I know when we was going through the stuff, he was like, I hadn't asked yet. He said he talked to his wife. He was telling Lisa, Barnes ain't asked yet. Barnes ain't said nothing. He going. I'm like, well, Coach, I'm gonna ask. I put y'all toward the end. I put you, Fitz, Woodside, and Blicker, because that be the thing we always just picking on. Oh boy, Frank was late, but he here now. Well, we got Coach McGriff, man, from Bartow. He'll be in the be on the show in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tonight. Like I say, we off next week, and then we'll jump on with Coach McGriff, and then we'll be off the following week. For the holiday weekend, and then. But by then, I guess the season will be really it'll
Yes,
be in
sir.
full swing. So, man, we
Full
are
swing.
Coach after 1 week before we get out of here. After week 1. Besides you saying y'all got to figure it out because of gym time, what's the feeling? What's the word? What's the energy countywide that you've gotten? Because I know you in them circles and in them meetings and stuff, in them conversations. How is the energy or the vibe after week 1 in the county?
I think it's like really, really high right now, Coach, and that's a good thing. And I'm glad that coaches are excited that the seasons are here and about their teams. But at the same time, I do see a sense of urgency this year from the coaching standpoint, and I like that too. I'm hoping that they're going to be able to push these kids to maximize their talents when they get out there, and hopefully it equates to competitive basketball here in the county for boys and girls. There's some new coaches in the county on both sides, and there's a lot of old heads. And
There's some expectations. I mean, obviously we know for the girls, y'all through the roof, but I've seen some energy from other than just Winter Haven this year. And I don't know what that's going to equate to on the court, but I think that's good for the overall girl product. That it's more.
I agree. Lakeland made a great hire with Coach Red. I'm bringing her to Lakeland. She has had a bunch of kids believe in her and came to Lakeland. It's one kid came all the way from Texas. So I think Lakeland girls basketball team have a chance to make the Final Four in 6A this year. If she can find a way to chemistry wise to get them together and playing well at the end of the January, I think they can make a run. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for all the girls teams that made the playoffs last year, and I expect to have the same expectation for those teams this year. I think it's probably gonna be more girls teams again this year that make the playoffs more than boys. So I think it's a lot of excitement going on around the county, which is a good thing, and we need it. Like the county deserves great competitive teams, but we gotta make sure that we return that gratitude by showing up in the stands and by giving these programs resources that they need in order to to function.
So you just said, and I don't know if this is breaking news, you're predicting more girls team make it to the Final Four than boys?
I didn't say Final Four, playoffs.
Oh, playoffs. You predict more girls teams will make it to the playoffs than boys.
Yes. Like I said, I do think Lakeland have a legitimate chance. Lakeland girls to make the Final Four because Bloomingdale was the defending state champion, but they lost a lot of graduation. I think that region is favorable for Lakeland girls. But like I said, it's a new coach, new team. They got to buy in. I'm pretty sure they'll have some ups and downs, but as long as they're playing well at the end of January. As far as boys teams go, I think it's 3 to 4 teams have a legitimate shot at making it. It ain't even the White House anymore. Making it to Jacksonville. That's gonna be so weird. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't saying it, Coach. I ain't saying I'm boycotting. I ain't saying it. I may say state, make it to the state. I guess I can say that.
State, we plan on being there for sure. But now I gotta take off and do all kind of stuff and travel 3+ hours to get there. I can't watch games during the week. I'm so disappointed with that. But
and it's for 2 years, this year and next year, right?
This year and next year. So I think it's 3 to 4 teams and boys that has the potential to make it, and I think it's 2 teams with girls have the potential to make the Final Four. So I'm very excited about that. Hopefully, when these teams do make it, that people travel to support them.
So on the girls, you're not saying it, but I'm saying Winter Haven, Lakeland, in the conversation. Favorites, however you want to category you want to put them in. Boys, we saying Victory. I'm saying Santa Fe.
Victory,
And
Santa Fe,
we saying
Arbondale,
Arbondale.
and Bartow have a chance, even though they have a tougher road to get there.
And you know who's a dark horse coach? If he just how they come together, because he brought in 4 or 5 of them is Lakeland.
I agree
Like
with that.
he got a lot of new guys, and I mean, I'm real interested to see how the McElhaney, Tyson, and Tyson and Money work together.
And the reason why I give the edge to Bartow is just because they've been together longer.
Yeah, Bartow
You
and
know
Bartow been together longer, and you got McGriff. Nothing against Coach Hen, but you got to feel like I think whoever gets that district seed or whoever ends up being the hosting, I think. And I mean, there's obviously a lot of that stuff got to happen. It's just this November 2nd, you know.
Yeah. I think his goal is just to make sure he try to get the best seed he can in the playoffs.
Speaking of Lakeland, man, shout out to Ro Hardy, man.
Yeah,
Ro Hardy, man. Ro Hardy, I'm looking at TV, man. I'm sitting here smiling. Ro is starting, man. For y'all that don't know, Ro Hardy that went to Winter Haven at first and ended up at Lakeland as a starting linebacker for Indiana University football team, ranked number 2 coach. Who, if you had Indiana University undefeated at this point, bro, if you working, you bet that you start working a little while ago, didn't you, Coach?
Yeah,
Indiana top 2, and they not gonna lose. They
should make the Big Ten championship
coach.
undefeated, which they should play Ohio State there. So
happy about old Ro, man. That's some good stuff, man. That's good stuff, man. So where the kids make it, y'all know where they make it. They doing football, basketball. If they come through here, man, we gonna still
support them.
We gonna still support them, no matter what. I had a parent had inboxed me and was like, and telling and that's what I had posted. I got the picture that she sent. She said, "I know it may not be a it may not be a good topic since you know who lost it." So she said, and I was like, "Well, so that was a little. I guess that was a little stray about Miami because you and PG both Miami fans." So I said, "Well, we're gonna put it out there, but he wrote, so that'll be all right with that one."
But definitely, I coached Ro. You know what I'm saying? I had Ro in the gym when he was in middle school because I coached his older sister. Like him, D, and the little sister that I have now, Serenity, all of them was in the gym training. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I got ties to that kid.
It's plenty of love. She was being funny. It was a little joke, but
it's all good. It's all love.
Yeah, man. You know so shout out to Ro, man.
We doing our same old thing in November. It don't surprise me. So, it's all good.
Coach, football is just college football yesterday was so bananas.
But that's why I love it though, Coach. That's the reason why I love college football, because at any given week, you know what I'm saying, you still got to line it up.
You still got to line it up. I don't care what it look like. You still got to go in somebody's stadium, and you have to beat them. But yeah, that dude is impressive, Coach. He ain't even got like no big time 5-star. No. He ain't got no big budget like these other people got. And I was just so impressed watching them people play, man. So I'm rooting for him, obviously, because Ro on the squad. But just that to show that you can do it. Other people can do it. Obviously, you got the Ohio States and the Georgia, the Alabama, all them people. But you can do it the right way, or you can do it a different way. Unless your name Dabo Sweeney, then you ain't gonna do it no other way. You just. But anyway,
let them people make the national championship. Roger Hardy, save me a ticket because I'm gone. I'm going with y'all.
Shout out to Roger, man. Roger, one of the best guys, best dads. Got 3 of them, man. 4 of them. But he got the older one that's at Army still, right? She at West Point.
She graduates in December.
Look at that, man.
She graduated in December, so
she graduated from West Point, bro. She can write her ticket, boy. She can write her ticket.
and
Woo.
D is still at Navy, and Seren is destined to go to USF.
All four of your kids in school, bro, and at a high level. Thank you for that, Coach Blicher, man. Also, this Saturday, man, for y'all people that are starved to see basketball, they are having an officials clinic all day at Bartow High School this Saturday, November the 8th. All the county, no, not all the county teams, but all the games will be involving county teams. So you get to see your people get a sneak peek at what your team looks like. So get on over to Bartow, man, and support them kids, support the programs, and just support basketball, man. We are back, man. I'm so excited, Coach, that the clinic they was able to put that together, man. So I don't know if they've done that to this capacity in years past, but when I saw the schedule, I was smiling because we get a lot of people get a chance to get some good work in, and Coach Blick asking you a question, I think, Billy D, about USF, and get to train some officials because we know the officials need, they need love too. So y'all get out there and support it. We'll post a schedule again for you all if you plan on going. I know we posted it last week, but we'll post it again so you can mark your calendars. But be there Saturday, man. Support the kids in the program.
Yes, sir, Coach Blicker. She's still locked in right now. So that's not going to change.
So the coach left or got fired or what?
He took a WNBA job. He's going to be the Dallas Wings coach. So the associate head coach is taking over. But she's the one that recruited Serenity. So it's a no-brainer still.
Okay. Shout out, man. All four of them, man. Who can? That's a flex right there, man. All four of your kids in school, man, or graduating or about to graduate. Come on, man. Shout out to the artists, man. That's just me. I'm off the soapbox, but all right, man. So week 2, coach, all tries are out the way. You know who you on your varsity squad. You know who on your JV, or at least you know who in your program. So what are you doing in week 2 that you didn't do in week 1? Or was you already doing it in week 1?
Week 2, you got to really focus in on getting your installation in, offensively and defensively. Get your style of play, whatever your programs is, known for. It's a big week for that because you start playing next week if you got a preseason game. So it's really, really important. Whatever you're gonna work on next week, you got to get that installed this week. You still, if you hadn't had no preseason conditioning, it's really important that you get them in shape. So I think it should be a really tough week on your kids. I would even look into going this weekend if you need to. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that you're prepared. Play your 2 preseason games, analyze those games, and see what you need to work on, and get better to get ready to play the week after that.
What you mean if you got preseason classes? You telling me some people ain't playing preseason?
Man, Coach, listen.
Oh, man. Stop, man. No, don't do it. Don't say it, Coach.
All right. Think I'm playing. You ain't seen nobody really posting about it.
Be like Tracy Morgan. Nope. That mean.
Okay, Coach.
Coach,
you have 2 opportunities for them unknown people to showcase what they have. You still, trying to analyze all of this, especially if you got some new pieces in. Like, you really got to see how these pieces fit and what you need to do. And if you don't allow yourself those opportunities are opportunities missed. Because, like, after that, Coach, them games count.
They count.
Like what we're talking about.
But it's like we used to say when I was, at Jenkins. I know me and McGriff had this running thing, and y'all still do now. I guess it's basketball season. On a lot of campuses, right? It's show the pass to the left, helmet to the right.
Oh,
in a lot of places, right?
In a lot of places, plenty of places.
Right. So if we already did inventory, Coach, we already did inventory, man, and we done did the exit interviews. What we doing then? I mean, what? It's like 17. I know I be following PC Gridiron. He keep me up to date because I don't be looking at it like that. So shout out to PC Gridiron, but I think I counted like with 7 teams. I guess it's a couple that's on the bubble now. They got to hope for, they got their fingers crossed and toes crossed that they gonna make it through the door. But we got like 5 locks, I guess.
Yes.
So it's over 27 teams. It's basketball season.
Basketball season.
As of Friday about 11 o'clock, right?
Or soccer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
or weightlifting, whatever it is you do.
So how you not playing a preseason game and it's basketball season?
It don't count. Ain't nobody counting wins and losses in the preseason. Like you doing all this stuff in practice, you got to see if that stuff gonna work. You know,
so
what I'm saying?
First time you gonna see if it's gonna work is your first game.
When it counts, then you don't figure out you don't wasted 3 weeks on trying to run this defense or offense and figure out that it's trash, and now you gotta throw away 3 weeks worth of work.
And some of them people not playing a preseason tip off, and they're not playing in Bartow Saturday. So you really blind. So let's say you playing in Bartow Saturday, then you may be like, okay, which I don't subscribe to it. But if I ain't playing in Bartow,
only playing a half.
So what you gonna do in the half? So 2 halves?
They play 2 halves. They'll play a half against somebody, and then they'll play a half against somebody else.
You like this? You like how they got that set up? Or you did it different?
It's an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So any opportunity is a great one.
Is it more for the kids or the refs?
Both. You know what I'm saying? Because younger refs need that experience on the court because they don't. It's hard for them to get experience during this time too. So they need experience. They need training too. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all brutal on refs, man. Y'all don't cut them no slack. So they need training.
It's always interesting. Like I feel like Coach Blicher and Coach Robinson are probably a little hard on refs because they are officials also. So they're coaching the game, but they're also looking at it from an official standpoint. So they know where to be at. They know what zone you're supposed to be calling and not calling. So I think it's different. And I know it's other people that ref, but I know them two do it like pretty frequent, pretty regular. So I think it's different when you're getting on the ref and you're a ref from a perspective of knowing the game from the official's point of view. But some coaches and some parents, like you say, they do give refs a hard time. And I'm always like, but how do you even know that that's accurate what you're saying? Like you have no foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like Blicher and Coach E got foundation. They officiate. They calling the game. They're refing, so they know zones and angles and all that stuff that y'all know as officials, right? But it's a lot of parents, so it's almost like, okay, you come call the game and see if you got that same type of energy after you've called the game. Not even like Coach Blicher said, you can call the game at the YMCA, call any game, where you actually are officiating as opposed to just looking at what you're looking at. I think that would change a lot of people's perspective. I know we can't do that, but it would.
It changed my perspective, and it changed my approach to refs also, because it's a lot harder than what you think. So my thing is like, and I have these conversations with Johnny all the time. Like, he'll, say something about a missed call or whatever, and he'd be talking to one ref. I'd be like, Johnny, that's not his call. That's this person call. You know what I'm saying? Knowing your zones, knowing when to talk to them about calling out of their zone. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, Coach, if you're not in the right position, you can't see through people. You know what I'm saying? You can easily get behind a player and you can't see the play in front of him. Like it's really, really tough. And then you just got people just blurting out just everything, since everybody know the rules. And
everybody know the rules and don't nobody know.
Yeah, don't know nothing. But like I said, it's an opportunity for those refs to get experience. Like I said, I did it just to get a different perspective, and it made me a better coach. I'm not even gonna lie to you because I know how rules are interpreted now. You know what I'm saying? I know what they are looking for, and it makes me teach my kids how to be better, especially defensively. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a great opportunity, and it should be a big weekend in Bartow.
Yeah. All right, so y'all make sure y'all pull up. Y'all make sure y'all pull up, man, and support the kids. Make sure that y'all get ready for a whole day of basketball. Like I say, I'll post the schedule again on the page. I did last week, but sometimes we need reminders.
They need reminders. Coach, tell them before we leave if somebody wants the magazine, how they can get in touch.
Okay, so I'm not sure about the media day info that Coach Amp was talking about, Coach Jones talking about. I'm not sure about that, Coach Jones. I need media day. I don't know. We're not doing the media. We've just been doing instead of doing a whole media day, like going somewhere and have people coming in. We thought it'd be more personal to give everybody their own shine to come on here and speak. So it's more of a spotlight as opposed to sharing it. That's just kind of the model that we went with. We know other people do it different ways. That's how we chose to do it. So these have been our media days. And so the last one, like I said, will be in 2 weeks with McGriff, but that's how we kind of thought we would handle it. But as far as the magazine, man, the magazine is out. It was a labor of love, a lot of labor, a lot of love, but when like Coach Blicher said he don't mind doing the stuff because he loves watching his kids. He doesn't mind doing the ball TV stuff, even though it's time consuming. I know why nobody in the state does a high school magazine, primarily because it's a lot of work. It's not something that you just wake up and do and communicate with the coaches. Shout out to the coaches, man. For the most part, they all were very supportive. Asked for information. They gave it to me for the most part. It was a struggle getting some pictures from some people. So you'll see some had some pictures, some didn't, but they've been very supportive of us wanting to make sure that we spotlight them because once again, this is all for the kids and the programs in the county. It's just another way to kind of present us in a light that nobody else does. Nobody in the state of Florida. I don't think nobody in the state of Georgia. I mean, I don't know all 50 states, but nobody is doing a magazine primarily high school for one county other than us. And so we hope y'all enjoy it, man. If you want to order one, you can just inbox the page or you can get in contact with me directly and we can make that happen for you. About out of that first run, I think, because the first run we make sure the coaches get one, the programs get one, so they can have one, in their locker room or just so. Because like Coach Blicher said, the kids like to see their name, and nowhere else you're gonna see your name in a whole magazine. And so we want to make sure that y'all see it because you all are the reason why we do it in the first place. The reason why we do all this in the first place. So contact us, man, and we'll get you squared away.
Yeah, because you got me attacked by my kids in the gym the other day. Why ain't no girls magazine? I'm like, hey man, listen.
Oh boy,
you got to talk to the other people about that.
Yeah, man. We purposefully, we say this every now and then. We purposefully kind of back off. Obviously, coach, with Winter Haven, so and we get slack from that when we do that. But we purposely back off from girls because of our they are our little brothers, I guess. I know. They're our counterparts, whatever we call them. There is a media platform for the girls in Polk, and they do a great job.
They do.
So we don't want to take anything away from them. So our primary focus is the boys side, and so we put our energy into that. So we're not trying to show nobody up. We're just trying to spotlight the young men in the programs because we feel like for years they were underserved. And so now we don't have that issue anymore. We are the most recognized and covered and county in the state, and that includes all those other people, primarily because of Polk Hoops and y'all support of us and what we do. So yeah, man, y'all tap in with the magazine, man. I think we did a good job, but you obviously, you have to wait and reserve judgment till other people see it. So y'all should be getting those things in the next couple of days, so you can leave your edits, you can leave your critiques, your criticism, your praise, whatever. We take it all. We appreciate it all. We thankful for it all. But once again, man, appreciate Coach Blicher stopping through tonight, man, especially after the workout and talking about, dropping some gems, talking about his team and his upcoming season. Wish you well, Coach Blicher. Like I said, we off next week, y'all. And then the following week, we will end our media day preseason coverage with Coach McGriff from Bartow High School. So good luck this week, man. And y'all get to Bartow Saturday and check out the team, support the kids, man. Until next time, Polk Hoops, we out. Y'all be safe. Appreciate you.